This is the Jason Tatum that everybody has been asking for. And we've been asking for a while now. And Jason Tatum, pretty much with his performance, said, y'all wanted it? Well, y'all got it. Incredible win for the Boston Celtics. To me, this is a championship win. This is the type of win that any other franchise we would be going crazy about. But I know because it's the Celtics, it's probably going to get talked about in a lot of different ways. I came in here with the mindset while watching this game, thinking about having the approach of, man, they came back from 18. They should have never been in that spot. All of these different type of things. But I'm going to continue going the route I've been going on, which is the Celtics are doing everything that they can do. They're handling each team that's in front of them. Yeah, they have different situations where they may not play above and beyond their competition. Some of these games in these series that they've had, it seems like they play down in the competition. But at the end of the day, as long as they're winning and beating the teams that are in front of them, and they're on track and on pace to win a championship, that's all that really matters. All of the extra theatrical things that everybody is complaining about on how they're winning, that's just for content and for conversation purpose. But the question and everything that was around the Boston Celtics coming into this season was they better win a championship. That's what everybody kept saying. The pressure's on them to win a championship and deliver. Y'all was questioning Tatum and Brown and all of these other things. Joe Mazzulla. Well, they up 3-0. They're one more win away from, and you can't convince me that after a win like this, they won't get that one win. They're one win away from going to the NBA Finals again, and they've only lost so far 2 games in the entire playoffs. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm not a Boston Celtics fan. Y'all know I'm a Knicks fan. I have no reason to take up for the Celtics or defend them. But when we talk about what the expectation was, we cannot move the field goal based on how we want it to be. Y'all came out. It was a lot of conversation about Jason Tatum. I was a part of the conversation. I felt like some of the last couple of games, the first 2 games in the series, Jason Tatum could have played better, right? Could have played better. I definitely came into this series feeling like no matter if it was my Knicks, no matter if this was this Pacers team, that the Celtics should handle business. And at some point, I was expecting them to be dominant in this series. You know what I mean? And then you talk about losing Tyrese Halliburton on the other side for the Indiana Pacers. I definitely thought this game 3 on the road that they were going to come in and definitely be dominant then. They didn't. They only won this game by 3. They had an 18-point comeback, another thing that I was not expecting to have to say in this game. But the fact is, Jason Tatum gave us 36 points, 10 and 8. Gave us an almost triple-double. 12 of 23 shooting, 5 of 10 from 3, 7 of 11 at the free throw line. I don't like that he left 4 points at the free throw line, but hey, he got there 11 times. That's something I've been asking from him. Started off the game extremely aggressive, was getting to the hole at the beginning, and I feel like that opened up everything for him. I believe he started off the game 6 of 10 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, had 3 free throws, missed 2 of those free throws in that first quarter, but just really came out aggressive and wasn't starting the game off settling. The type of shots that he takes, the step backs, the side, that's just a part of his game, ladies and gentlemen. No matter how much we would prefer to see him not do it, or if we feel like he does it too much, I am learning that you just have to accept that is who he is, and that comes with his game. But all I ask is within those sexy shots that he loves to take, we do get the aggression, and we don't just have a game full of settling jump shots when you're guarded by guys like T.J. McConnell and whatnot. And there was a play in this game in the third quarter where he was being guarded by T.J. McConnell and was about to take the step back shot, but luckily got bailed out by a T.J. McConnell foul that in the replay looked like it could have been a travel. Whatever. On the flip side, Indiana, like this is the NBA. It's the playoffs. Y'all down 0-3. There's uncertainty if Tyrese Halliburton will even return to the series. I know it's tough to have such a nice ride and a nice run, but I think y'all were just here for the ride. I don't think that y'all felt like y'all were this Eastern Conference Finals team that was seriously about to go on a finals run. As a fan of the Pacers, I'm sure you blindly was rooting for them and will continue to blindly root for them because that's what you should do when you're a fan of a team. But I don't think that y'all should walk away from this too much with y'all heads down. I mean, my goodness, y'all don't have Tyrese Halliburton. This team, the Boston Celtics, were the best team in the NBA by far. It wasn't even close. East-West, there was nobody that came near them. And y'all are hanging with them, man. Y'all hung with them with Tyrese Halliburton on the road. Without him, y'all hung around for a majority of this game. I have to give a big shout out to Andrew Nembhard, most importantly. And then I have to give a shout out to myself. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me do this countless of times. But I've been a big Andrew Nembhard fan since Florida, before he even went to Gonzaga. And I pulled up the tweets while he was cooking during this game. There's a tweet of me in his freshman year where I said, I believe Andrew Nembhard was the most underrated freshman guard in the entire country. In the entire country. That was like before 2020. That's like a 2018, 2019 tweet. Then there's another tweet. I have countless Nembhard tweets. I'm a big Andrew Nembhard fan, like I've been saying for a very long time. But I have another one where I'm saying I believe he is the steal. Being able to get him in the second round for this Pacers team, I said he was a steal. That tweet is years old too. So I'm patting myself on the back in this video. I don't care. I do it a lot. I have a lot of like hits and whatever. That is one of my favorite and big hits because I'm a very, 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 like I said, big Andrew Nembhard fan because I love good basketball players. This is a guy who's been a point guard since I've been introduced to him. He found a way to come into Indiana and find a way to carve out a role next to a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, find a way to be valuable early on in his career at a young age, willing to really do anything that the Pacers ask of him. And I feel like he really in these playoffs have even took a bigger step. And he's a guy that if you're an Indiana Pacer fan, you have to cherish and appreciate while he's here. Because after these playoffs, he's going to become a household name. And what happens when you're a household name, money comes. And what happens when money comes is teams have to decide if they want to keep you to go past that apron. If you're paying Halliburton, if you're going to probably pay Pascal Siakam, you're then going to have to continue to pay Miles Turner. He's a lifer, it seems like. You still have Benedict Mathurin. You have Nembhard. Like, this team is going to get expensive. And when we find out what expensive teams is, you either have to go to that apron, second apron, or decisions have to be made. And because this team is not a championship team, there are still some moves to be made. I hate to have to put that into y'all mind right now, but I'm just a realist. And I think when I love people, I try to tell them the real so they can prepare for it and not get blindsided. But we'll get away from that. That's a whole separate conversation. Andrew Nembhard, 32 points tonight, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers. Unfortunately, one of these turnovers was the really big one down at the last possession where Drew Holiday once again, Drew Holiday, this is why you trade for him. Once again, when the game is on the line, he finds a way to make not only a stop, but a turnover. I think in the game one, he did it to Tyrese Halliburton, made Tyrese Halliburton cough up the ball and a couple of times down the stretch in very, very crucial make or break possessions. And he did the same thing tonight with Andrew Nembhard. So I have to give credit to Drew Holiday on that, and while also having a really magical, important fourth quarter as far as scoring and giving them some type of lift there, which we'll get to. But I just want to give my flowers to Andrew Nembhard. This is an incredible game. The way he came out and set the tone for them in that first quarter early on, I think was really important. You come into this game without having Tyrese Halliburton, so of course you're obviously going to have a bunch of questions about how things could go. And I feel like being able to have Andrew Nembhard start the game the way he did, it makes you comfortable. And I'm starting to now print out the scorers report, the official scores report for the NBA, just because it's easier. But yeah, Nembhard came out early on, 2 of 3, 4 points, 2 assists. Again, not his best quarter. We know the best quarter was the second quarter, but I just feel like I love the way he came out, really under control, and felt like he was ready for this moment of being the starting point guard and replacing Tyrese Halliburton. It was just a calming, cool feel to it. Pascal Siakam came out really, really well, firing on all cylinders, and same thing with Miles Turner. I was really impressed with Miles Turner because he was able to get himself going without having to hit any three-point shots. Miles Turner is obviously a guy who can stretch the floor and hit big-time shots, but in this game, to start off early, he was able to really get those points in the paint, and that's where they laid their hat in the beginning of this game, which we'll get to as far as the way the game progresses. The Pacers scored 26 of their 31 points in the paint in the first quarter, and they shot 0% from 3. They only shot 3 threes in the first quarter. They didn't make any of them. They got to the line 5 times, made all 5 free throws. In this game tonight, they did not miss a free throw. They went 14 of 14. Super impressive. They took care of the basketball. They had 1 turnover in that first quarter, which was Miles Turner. And yeah, the way that the Celtics started off the game, the way that the Celtics shot the 3 ball, they went 5 of 11. The way Tatum came out aggressive, I think that the Pacers responded well to only lose that opening quarter by 1 point. To have Tatum come out being as aggressive as he was, if you were a fan in that building, you probably were like, oh shit, here he is. Now he's about to have his 40-point performance when we don't have Tyrese Halliburton. This could be over quickly. But y'all fought hard. And then in that second quarter, shots didn't fall as much for the Celtics. Jason Tatum didn't have the same type of quarter as he did in the first one. He only shot 4 shots, went 2 of 4. As a team, they shot 38% from 3, 5 of 13, and they had a couple of turnovers, and y'all were able to win this quarter by 13 points. Y'all won this quarter by 13 points and basically made up any momentum that they tried to have in that first quarter with Tatum being aggressive, and you have a 17-point second quarter for Andrew Nembhard. 17 points, 6 of 7 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, was really feeling himself. And what I like about the Pacers, and I think this is even something that you can fans can attest to, even with like Halliburton is healthy and playing, when they have guys going, they get guys that basketball. They get guys the basketball. And that I know that sounds crazy and that sounds like something that should be obvious, but I just love when teams are able to recognize something and they don't shy away from it. It's like, let's get that guy the ball. Let's let him rock. Let's feed him the basketball. Let's let him do what he's doing. And I feel like they allowed Andrew Nembhard to do that, and he really took them to a different level. Again, this was another quarter where they were able to dominate in the paint. They shot 8 of 12 in the paint for 16 points in that second quarter, and really, really was able to to cement themselves as far as dominating and controlling the paint from an offensive standpoint. In the first half, they outscored the Celtics by 24 points in the paint. The Celtics had 18 points in the paint, and the Pacers had 42. They go into the half with a 12-point lead without barely having to shoot the 3 ball. They went 3 of 8. The fact that they shot 8 threes in the first half alone just tells you so much, and was able to have a 12-point lead. You would think a team like them being able to have a lead on the Celtics going into the half, you would think that the 3 ball is just falling astronomically for them, but that wasn't the case. The Boston Celtics, on the other hand, shot three times as many 3-point shots. The Celtics shot 8. The Pacers shot 8. The Celtics shot 24 threes at a 41% clip and left 4 points at the free throw line, and still were down 12 to the Pacers when they only shot 3 of 8. And I just love the way that they were able to get to the paint. I love that they controlled it, and I felt like that was something that they could have held on to for a very long time as this game started to progress. Now when we talk about the third quarter, this game gets a little bit slower. The Pacers win this quarter by 3, so you still go into the fourth quarter with a 9-point lead. I think we went into the fourth quarter, it was 81-90, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the third quarter, really, really slow quarter, not the same type of feel. Nembhard slowed down a little bit, 1 of 4. This is when T.J. McConnell came in and gave them some buckets, and you had a solid quarter from Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner. But overall, wasn't my favorite quarter for either team. It's probably my least favorite quarter of the game. The Celtics shot 33% from the field. The Pacers shot 38% from the field. But more importantly, it made me feel like they kind of went away a little bit from the points in the paint aspect, from attacking that paint, controlling that paint. They made 0 of their threes in this quarter, and they shot 9 of them. So you gotta understand, the Pacers, like I just said, in the first half, they shot 8 3-point shots. In the third quarter, they shot 9. So I don't really, and again, Celtics are going to make adjustments on how they guard and do different things, but I still don't feel like there was enough resistance for the Pacers to stop their method and start to shoot all of these threes. You shot 8 threes in the first half and ended that half with a 12-point lead. You ended it with a 12-point lead. Why go away from that? You still were able to put points in the paint. You still outscored them on points in the paint with 18-10 in the third quarter. But still, I just think that the 9 threes, and you weren't making any. Nembhard missed 2. Ben Shepherd missed 3. And I know these are shots that they normally typically make. It's very rare for the Pacers to have a 3-less quarter. But it happened. And luckily for them, going into the fourth, you had to rely on the fact that, hey, the Boston Celtics, though y'all shot as bad as y'all did, y'all held them to 33% from the field and 16% from 3. They didn't shoot the 3 ball that well either, but they did get to the free throw line 9 times compared to your 1 time. They got to the free throw line once in the third quarter, and that was Pascal Siakam on an and 1, I believe it was. Oh, no, a flagrant from Derek White, if I'm not mistaken. So I didn't like that quarter at all from both teams, because if you're the Pacers, if you're the Celtics and you have the Pacers going 0 of 9 from 3, and they only scored 21 points, I believe it was 21 points in a quarter, in the third quarter, based off how they started off the game in the first half and all of the points in the paint. If you're able to get a quarter like that, you have to come back and do more than 24 points. And again, they threw up 12 threes as well. Just launching the threes. Launching. Jrue Holiday 3 threes. Derek White 4 threes. Tatum 2 threes. Brown 2 threes. Just letting threes fly loosely. And I know that that's what they do. But, man, when you're locking up the Pacers and you're starting to get those stops, and their source of offensive firepower and Nembhard in that second quarter, Siakam in that first quarter, when those water sprouts are close, you turning off that supply, you want to double down in that. So I am a little disappointed that when I look at the aftermath of the third quarter, Tatum only took 5 shots. He played almost the entire quarter. I want to see Tatum get into that mode of, when we're right here, and again, they still won the game, but this is a quarter where I just want to see them insert their dominance a little bit more when they're getting those stops against a team like the Pacers, because anybody that you play in the championship round, they're going to be better than the Pacers, right? And they're probably going to have their star player. Luka's probably going to be here for the Mavericks if they advance. Anthony Edwards, Carlton Towns, they're going to probably be available. I should knock on wood because of the way that the playoffs have been going so far. And then we go into the fourth quarter. It's showtime. I think the first bucket was a Jrue Holiday offensive rebound, made it 83-90. Then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Derek White missed a little floater, got it on rebound, put it in, 85-90. Then I believe Tatum got fouled and made some free throws, and then Al Horford made a big 3 and tied the game up at 90 apiece. The Pacers, I don't know if it was 90 apiece, but they went on a run. The Celtics came out, they went on a run. The Pacers tried to respond a little bit back and forth, but ultimately the Celtics just really, really did what they were able to do in this last quarter. Like I said, Jason Tatum came out and was a little aggressive, got to the free throw line, which is all I want. He took 4 shots. Again, I would love to see him take more shots, but I also understand when you have a team like the Celtics, as stacked as they are, with as much talent as they are, and you have the Pacers throwing as much as they were at Jason Tatum, this is a quarter where I was happy to see his playmaking come to light. He had 4 assists in this quarter, and a lot of these shots that his teammates were able to hit came off of him. The Al Horford threes, those are big-time threes. They were moving the basketball, playing unselfishly, finding him. He was stepping up and knocking them down with confidence. Derek White hit a big one. Tatum hit a big one at the top of the key, the only field goal he made in this quarter. But that top of the quarter 3-1, that was a really, really, really big shot. I think that's when we got close to like a minute left in a quarter. Before that, he hit that shot. That was such a big shot for Jason Tatum. But yeah, love the playmaking in this quarter for him. And again, this is the biggest quarter for the Celtics because they did what I expected them to do in the third quarter. They came out, they limited the Indiana Pacers to 21 points again in the fourth quarter, the same way that they did it in the third quarter. Nembhard was a little bit more aggressive, got 9 points. TJ McConnell gave you additional 7. But the duo of Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner playing the entire quarter and leaving this game going 2 of 7 from the field with 5 points combined, that's it right there. As good as Andrew Nembhard was, you have to rely on Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam giving you some production. And they were just making it tough for those guys. Miles Turner wasn't able to get comfortable looks that he usually gets at the perimeter. He had some tough shots. He had one of these shots was like an end of the shot clock, turn around, step back, like mid-range shot, just like not the greatest shots in the world for these two dudes. And it put a lot of pressure on Nembhard. And I think that was what turned the last possession into what it was. Nembhard getting that rebound or getting that basketball and feeling like he had to go and make something happen. And I don't blame him. Again, there was not really a source outside of him and TJ McConnell in this fourth quarter that could really provide any offense. So when Nembhard got the basketball, of course he felt like he was in attack mode. I saw somebody tweet like Andrew Nembhard to himself, "This is my time. This is Nembhard time," or something like that. But shit, Anybody else with a brain would have felt the same way. You scored 21 points, and between the 21 points, him and McConnell scored 16 of it. They scored 16 of the 21 points in the fourth quarter. Even with Tyrese Halliburton now, that's disgusting for the Pacers. That's disgusting. Majority of your fourth quarter points came from Andrew Nembhard and your backup point guard, TJ McConnell. Pascal Siakam, with the money that he's going to be requiring and what they gave up to get him, he has to be better than 1 for 3 in the fourth quarter. He has to be. He has to be. He has to be better than 1 for 3. Need more from Pascal Siakam. There's no other way I can put it. I was not a fan of Pascal Siakam outside of that first quarter. That's just me. Outside of that first quarter, I was not a big fan of the production that Pascal Siakam gave you. I mean, he ended the second half going 3 of 8 for 7 points, and Miles Turner gave you the same thing. They combined for 14 points in the second half. Jason Tatum outscored both of them. Drew Holiday outscored Siakam in the second half. Derek White outscored Siakam in the second half. Outscored Turner in the second half. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. 3 for 8. Both no threes made. I mean, in the second half alone, you go 2 of 14. The Pacers go 2 of 14. Both of those 3-point shots, you guessed it. One from Nembhard, one from TJ McConnell. There literally was no help for these two guys. The only support and help that Nembhard got was TJ McConnell. It's not. It's just disappointing because you're at home. You're right there. You got the game. You got the game kind of in the bag because they had to fight so much to overcome that 18-point game. You did so much work early. You had Andrew Nembhard really set the tone for y'all in that first half by having a 17-point quarter. And yeah, I just, and the box score looks a lot better as an overall game. 22 for each Miles Turner and Siakam, 22 and 10 for Miles Turner, 22 and 3 for Siakam. 22 and 3 ain't gonna cut it. But both of these guys missed every single 3-point shot that they had. They did get to the free throw line, which I can respect. But yeah, just not enough, especially in that second half, man. Especially in that second half. They did a lot of their work early, but in the second half, they were both just non-existent. And again, this team shot 5 of 22 from 3. The only 2 3-point shots that the Pacers made came between TJ McConnell and Andrew Nembhard for the entire course of the game. They shot 50% from the field. They had 68 points. 68 points in the paint. 68, man. 68. Incredible. 68 points compared to the Boston Celtics scoring 40. And again, this is why you have to credit. That's how I wrap it. It gets back to the point of just having to credit the Boston Celtics. I mean, watching the game, I watched every second of this basketball game, and I'm looking at the scores report from each quarter, each breakdown. Again, like I said in the top of this video, beggars can't be choosers. Everybody that came out and had some criticism at the start of the season for the Boston Celtics up until now, the main thing is for the Boston Celtics to win a championship. They're in the position to do that. They've lost 2 playoff games and 3 series. They just overcame an 18-point deficit to a Pacers team on the road. Should they have been down 18? I'll be the first to tell you, hell no. Even with a healthy Tyrese Halliburton, this team should never be down 18 points to the Pacers. I'm sorry. It's no jab at the Pacers. I just think that highly of the Boston Celtics and the personnel, even with Porzingis being out right now. But we saw a performance that Jaylen Brown had at a 40-point game. Jason Tatum then comes out and almost has a 36-point triple-double. We see a guy like Drew Holiday. He doesn't need to score the basketball to really put his imprint on a game. Pressuring guys, forcing guys to have turnovers. You're in these part of the playoffs against these high-powered teams with the stakes on the line, you're lucky to just get a stop. You're just trying to get a stop. Drew Holiday is getting you turnovers. So they're not even getting a chance to score when he's applying pressure and turning it up in those crucial moments guarding these guards. That's going to go a long way. That goes such a long way for them, man. Having the veteran presence of Al Horford brings so much to the scene, but then you also get an Al Horford performance where he shoots 7 of 12 from 3. Al Horford shot 12 3-point shots this game and made 7 of them, man. 7. Incredible game. This is a bad game from Derek White, who was still a +4 with 13 points, 3 of 11 shooting. He shot 8 threes, 2 of 8, but he still found a way to get to the free throw line 6 times. He got to the free throw line the second most on this entire team. Only person that shot more free throws than Derek White tonight was Jason Tatum. And he's relentless. He comes with a certain type of pedigree, a certain type of energy, and a certain type of mentality of winning and playing hard that just doesn't go unnoticed. So even when the shots aren't falling, you can still see his presence and his impact being put on the game. And when you talk about all of these guys and you talk about everybody's contributions, Jaylen Brown, I barely talked about this game as if he did nothing. He had 24 points going 10 of 18. And he, you know what I'm saying? He just 1 of 5 from 3. The 3-part one falling. Didn't really rebound a basketball like that. Had a few assists. 24, like, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling. Fresh off a 40-point game, just chilling. And then this team is dangerous, man. This team is dangerous. Once people start to realize that beggars can't be choosers, the Boston Celtics would be a little bit more respected or I guess appreciated. But I'm not allowing myself to be convinced that I should go against this team or I should be highly critical of them because they're not winning the way I would want them to win. Because Jason Tatum ain't having 50-point performances twice in a series. That should make me feel a way about the Celtics. There is a reality in the world, y'all, where the Celtics could win the championship just like this. Just like this. And what I mean by like this is a team effort. And you might here and there have an explosive performance from Tatum, explosive performance from Brown. Hell, you might not. Imagine if the Timberwolves show some fight and come back and extend the series against the Mavericks and beat them up a little bit more. You get what I'm saying? Like, I like the Mavericks. I love the way that they fan with gap defense. But will it work on the Celtics? You know what I mean? Like, is Porzingis going to be back? That's another, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just starting to mentally prepare myself and continue to prepare myself because I said on the Numbers on the Board podcast when I said it to my co-host, like, there's a world where the Celtics can win like this. I know everybody has an opinion on how they're winning and how it's not how you would want it to be. It's not dominant. Jason Tatum, you know, before this game didn't really have that moment but it's like they're winning the games. They're winning the games. They might can win a championship without needing Jason Tatum to have some crazy performance. And this, to me, is the crazy performance. This may be the one. This may be the Tatum performance of this playoff push that they're making, this playoff run that they're going to have. This may be it. I could be wrong, and he can come out and have a 40-point game in the finals for sure. He's definitely capable of it. We're not ruling any extra additional performances, but because they're such a well-balanced team, because they're up 3-0, because they're probably going to finish a sweep, because this is such a demoralizing loss, and because Halliburton probably won't play in a game 4 either, I would expect them to close this out, and that'll be that. And then they'll be just comfortably in the finals, waiting for the Mavs to either complete a sweep or close out an extended series against the Timberwolves. And they'll just be chilling, allowing Porzingis to continue to rest, continue to get healthy for whoever they're going to match up with. And they're going to be the favorites probably in that championship. And they might have an opportunity to where they're finally getting the best competition in the finals. And they'll be the heavy favorites, rightfully so, to win that series. And there's a big possibility that they win that series like they won every other series. And they go off as the champions of the 2023-2024 NBA season. And there will not be able to be people up there criticizing it because they didn't win the way you wanted them to. Beggars can't be choosers. Congratulations to the Celtics. Pacers, keep y'all heads up. Tomorrow is going to be even better. Must-see TV. And, yeah, man, at this point, I'm just ready to get to the finals. We have 2 series where one team has won all of the games. A series does not start until a team wins on a road. The Boston Celtics did it tonight. We'll see if the Mavericks can do it tomorrow. More than likely, unless there's some 40-point blowout, and even if then, I'll probably be here. I'll be here tomorrow. So make sure y'all subscribe to Pee Wee the Plug. Make sure this is a channel that you're locked into all playoffs for all of this type of in-depth breakdown and just thoughts about everything that's going. And make sure y'all give all of y'all opinions and things that y'all are seeing in the comments. I'm searching through the comments and looking at what y'all saying. And I'm taking some of the information, trying to look into it myself. Some of it I agree with. Some of it I disagree with. Some of it you may be bringing to my mind that I may have missed. So as always, I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.